It's nice to step off the STEM tables for a little bit. 3B, 1B, you know what I mean? Hardest math problem on the hardest test. Your XI for the dual diagnosis. Kubla Khan or whoever.
Care
Conqueror.
unit or NICU,
Whatever.
where healthcare providers.
Thanks to
Site
Audible,
13, right?
the world's leading provider of
what happened to Drill
audiobooks,
Sergeant?
for
Now Ford.
sponsoring this video. Deep in eastern China's Anhui province, situated in a valley between the
thought that was cute
mountains,
with the
is a
commercial
small
there.
town called Maotanchang.
That was good.
Of the hundreds of cities and thousands of towns and villages in the world's most populous country,
NP problem
Maotanchang
organization
is,
of field
without a
theories and
doubt, the
students.
most boring
Algebra,
of them all.
basically. It's like, what is algebra?
Unlike
Algebra's
even
not
the
right answer?
drabbest of
Well,
industrial mining or factory
it's
towns,
tough.
here there's nothing even resembling entertainment. No bowling alleys,
Even when they're good,
theaters,
it makes it
water
harder,
parks,
yeah.
bars,
Harder
or
when they're
internet
better at it.
cafes. A game shop once opened, but was promptly forced to close after locals led a boycott. Its busiest places, a post office, grocery store, and a few scattered restaurants, close early and stay quiet enough that they could only be doing so intentionally. But make no mistake, Maotanchang is not a forgotten pit stop slowly fading away to history. Actually, just the opposite. Thousands flock to this 4,000-person town hours away from any major city, one with no historical or religious significance. Though there are no jobs to be had, there is a factory, some would argue, though not the kind you'd expect. Its private high school is known across China as a so-called study factory, where parents bring their children to prepare for the most important exam of their lives. Its remote location and lifeless streets are deliberate features. There's simply nothing to do but study.
That's one of my favorites.
As the town has grown in prominence, its population has doubled, from 4 to 8,000, the new residents being the families of test takers, who in turn drive real estate prices sky high, and consume roughly 90% of the local economy. The test is called the Gaokao. Gao meaning high, as in higher education, i.e. university, and Kao meaning exam.
If you are in one of them,
These
then that's
days,
the right
around
operator.
10 million third-year high school students, graduating seniors in the Chinese education system, take the test each year, making it a candidate for the largest anywhere on Earth. In normal years, the 9-hour exam begins on June 7th and lasts 2 or 3 days, depending on the province. Although the exam is coordinated and synced across the whole of China, excluding the special administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau, the questions and logistics are arranged by each province and provincial level city. For most students, it consists of math, Chinese, and a foreign language, usually English, but alternatively Japanese, Russian, or French, plus his or her choice of either humanities, which includes geography, history, and politics, or science, meaning biology, chemistry, and physics. The questions are mainly multiple choice and short answers, though the Chinese section includes an essay, scored by 2 random graders. Before or afterward, students list the schools they wish to attend. By the time scores are released in July, provincial authorities have negotiated their quota for admission to each university, which determines its lowest accepted score. The maximum number of points is 750,
from the course.
though
Not like, well, you
anything
could
above
actually
even
be a peanut butter
700
we
is
are
considered
using
legendary,
laser beams.
thanks to its notoriously
Laser beams.
inscrutable questions. When all is said and done, around 10% of students receive offers to one of the Tier 1 best schools in the country, and 20% end up in a second-tier school. The highest scores in each province become overnight celebrities, their photos plastered throughout their hometowns, parents praised on television, and their choice of school subject to much scrutiny. From a distance, the Gaokao may seem like a larger and slightly more elaborate version of the SAT, ACT, A-levels, or JEE, but such an image would be wildly mistaken. For starters, the Gaokao is only offered once per year, meaning that if a student isn't accepted into one of his or her selected schools, of which there can only be a few, they will have no choice but to wait until the following June, which many do, sometimes several times over. To be precise, only about 8 of the 10 million test takers are accepted. The other roughly 20% are faced with a very unenviable decision: wait another 365 days or give up. Parents often resent those students who choose to take the exam again, saying they drive up the average score at the expense of their child, sometimes despite already being accepted to one or more schools. Gaokao scores are also, in most cases, the only criteria for college admission. The concept of recommendations, personal essays, and extracurriculars are so foreign to Chinese families that they usually hire a counselor to guide them through this process when applying to an overseas university. The Gaokao is very much make or break, which is why it has spawned such a lucrative industry, of which Maotanchang is one of the biggest benefactors. What sets it apart from all other schools, tutoring centers, and methods is that, quite simply, it really works. It claims a 90% university admissions rate, compared to the 30% of its province as a whole.
Right.
Of course, this success comes at a price, and quite a steep one. The campus is run more like a military training academy than a school, with 16 hours of studying scheduled per day. Everything is designed and optimized for studying. For example, there are no laundry rooms, electrical outlets, or, for many years, even hot water. Visitors, including parents, are allowed on campus for exactly 3 hours each Sunday afternoon. The security guards, who drive around on golf carts, ensure these rules are followed.
You do this.
Its real secret formula, however, is the way it meticulously ranks, rewards, and punishes its 500 teachers alongside their students. Their salaries are already higher than average, but what drives them to essentially give up on their lives, quit their jobs, hold off on starting a family, and move to the middle of nowhere are the bonuses.
And yet, despite the fact that the only students taking this thing each year are those who clearly are already pretty interested in math, the median score tends to be around 1 or 2. So, it's a hard test.
Never give up.
And on each one of those sections of 6 questions, the problems tend to get harder as you go from one to 6, although of course difficulty is in the eye of the beholder. But the thing about those 5s and 6s is that even though they're positioned as the hardest problems on a famously hard test, quite often these are the ones with the most elegant solutions.
What do I do with a
Some
pencil?
subtle
Trying to
shift
figure out
in image or
concentration.
transforms it from very challenging to doable. Here I'm going to share with you one problem that came up as the 6th question on one of these tests a while back. Those of you who follow the channel, you know that rather than just jumping straight to the solution, which in this case would be surprisingly short, when possible, I like to take the time to walk you through how you might have stumbled across the solution yourself, where the insight comes from. That is, make a video more about the problem solving process than about the problem used to exemplify
For
it.
them, the
So anyway,
Gaokao
here's
is
the
a
question.
route,
If you
their
choose
only
4 random
route
points
to
on a
upward
sphere
social
and consider the
mobility,
tetrahedron
and
with these points as
Maotanchang
its
is their
vertices,
golden ticket.
what is the
Which
probability
is
that the
why,
center of
when
the
the day
sphere is
finally
inside
comes,
that tetrahedron?
Okay,
it's
so I'm gonna
one of
grab
hope
any one
and
of them.
Go ahead.
They're on the
Kind of
list right now.
digest this
Already
one.
some people who do this.
To
This
an
is not
observer,
arbitrary.
start
Start with the
with
checkboard.
which
Can you do
tetrahedron
Can you
means the
wait?
center,
Slow down.
which
Parents
Wait.
book
How you
hotel
might
rooms near the
systematically
testing
distinguish the two.
venues. Rows of buses
And
full of
how do
students
you even
roam the
approach a problem
cities,
like this, right?
escorted
Where
by
do
a
you even
parade
start?
of their families.